There are motorcycles built for speed. There are motorcycles built for style. And there are motorcycles built to change lives. In the Philippines, few machines have left a mark as deep as the Honda Pantra. For nearly 5 decades, the Honda Pantra has traveled through crowded city streets, dusty provincial roads, mountain villages, coastal communities, and bustling public markets. It has carried workers to their jobs, students to their schools, farmers to their fields, and families toward better opportunities. To many Filipinos, it is more than a motorcycle. It is a trusted partner, a source of income, and a symbol of perseverance. This is the remarkable story of how the Honda Pantra became a legend. Then on this video, we visit again one of the dealership store to see and experience actually and personally one of the latest Honda Pantra motorcycle, which is the Honda TMX 150 Supremo, which will share again some interesting facts and information about this kind of Pantra motorcycle, then showing again some of my handheld shots featuring this kind of motorcycle. So, ito na nga ang Honda Pantra Motorcycle Series at ang Honda TMX 150 Supremo. Let's go! During the 1970s, transportation in the Philippines was rapidly evolving. While jeepneys dominated major roads and buses connected cities, many communities remained difficult to reach. Rural areas needed affordable transportation that could travel narrow roads, navigate rough terrain, and operate economically every day. At the same time, the tricycle industry was beginning to grow. Small entrepreneurs were discovering that motorcycle fitted with sidecars could provide an essential public transportation service while creating a reliable source of income. The country needed a motorcycle that was not flashy or expensive. It needed a motorcycle that could work. Honda saw that opportunity. In 1976, Honda Philippines introduced the TM110, a motorcycle specifically designed to meet the needs of Filipino riders and tricycle operators. The concept was simple. Build a motorcycle that was strong enough for commercial use, efficient enough to keep operating costs low, and reliable enough to endure years of daily service. The formula worked. Operators quickly embraced the TM110 because it offers something that every business owner values: dependability. The motorcycle proved capable of carrying passengers, hauling cargo, and enduring the demanding condition of everyday transportation. What began as a practical transportation solution would soon become a national phenomenon. Then came the motorcycle that would define an entire generation. In 1981, Honda introduced the TMX 155. Few people realized at the time that this machine would become one of the most iconic motorcycles ever sold in the Philippines. The TMX 155 was built differently. Its powerful engine delivered strong, low-end torque, make it ideal for pulling sidecars and carrying heavy loads. Its rugged frame was designed to withstand rough roads and long operating hours. Its mechanical simplicity made repairs easy, even in the most remote provinces. For tricycle drivers, the TMX 155 was not just another motorcycle. It was a livelihood machine. Day after day, year after year, the TMX proved itself capable of handling the toughest jobs imaginable. Soon, the distinctive sound of its engine became a familiar soundtrack in communities across the country. The true success of the Honda Pantra cannot be measured by sales figures alone. Its impact is measured in lives exchanged. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, thousands of Filipinos purchased Honda Pantra motorcycle to start tricycle businesses. For many families, owning a TMX meant a steady source of daily income, the ability to send children to school, a path toward financial independence, an opportunity to build a better future. Across the country, countless family stories began with a single motorcycle parked outside a small home. Every pair collected represented groceries on the table. Every passenger transported represented another step toward economic stability. In many ways, the Honda Pantra became one of the most important small business tools in the Philippine history. As the year passed, the Honda Pantra evolved from a motorcycle into a cultural icon. It became a familiar sight everywhere, outside schools, at public markets, near municipal halls, beside rice fields, at ferry terminals, in small barangays tucked deep into the countryside. The motorcycle became so closely associated with tricycles that many Filipinos eventually began using the word Pantra to describe an entire category of utility motorcycles. That level of brand recognition is rare. It reflected decades of trust built one ride at a time. Honda continued improving the platform over the years. Models evolved to meet changing regulations, customer expectations, and technological advancement. The TM110 eventually gave way to newer generations including TM125, TMX125, TMX Supremo, and TMX125 Alpha. Each new version introduced improvements while preserving the qualities that made the original Pantra successful. Durability, simplicity, reliability, and practicality. Honda understood the Pantra owners valued function above all else. The mission remained unchanged. Build a motorcycle that worked as hard as its owner. Something fascinating happened as newer generation of riders discovered the TMX. Instead using it solely for business, enthusiasts began transforming old Pantra motorcycles into custom builds. Its strong frame and classic proportions made it an ideal platform for keep racers, scramblers, trackers, and retro customs. A motorcycle originally designed for utility suddenly found a second life as a favorite among builders and hobbyists. Today, motorcycle shows across the Philippines often feature beautifully restored and customized TMX models, proving that the Pantra appeal extends far beyond transportation. The Honda Pantra greatest achievement is not its engineering. It is impact on people. Behind every Pantra is a story. A peddler driving a tricycle to support his children, a farmer transporting produce to market, a student riding to school, a small entrepreneur building a business from the ground up. For nearly 50 years, the Honda Pantra has quietly powered these stories. It has never demanded attention. It has simply done its job reliably, faithfully, and consistently. Today, the roads of the Philippines are filled with modern motorcycles, feature advanced technology, and contemporary styling. Yet the Honda Pantra remains a respected name. Its legacy lives on not only in the TMX models still operating across the country, but also in the generation of Filipinos whose lives were improved because of them. Few motorcycles can claim they help build businesses. Fewer still can claim they help build communities. The Honda Pantra did both, and that is why decades after its introduction, it remains one of the most important motorcycle ever to roll on the Philippine roads. The whole story of the Honda Pantra is ultimately the story of the Filipino people hardworking, resilient, resourceful, and determined to move forward no matter the challenges. While many motorcycles are remembered for speed or performance, the Honda Pantra is remembered for something far more meaningful. It carried dreams, and in doing so, it helped carry a nation forward. Honda TMX Supremo. Let's go! Hi everyone and everybody. So, nagpabalik na naman tayo dito sa today was 10 and this week was 10. Ay, nagbago na naman tayo ng i-review ng motorsiklo, which is like na naman sa tabihan ko ang isang klaseng Pantra motorcycle from Honda Motorcycle Corporation. At ito nga ang Honda TMX Supremo. So, isa nga itong klaseng Pantra motorcycle. Nagkakaroon na naman tayo ng matindi ang motorcycle review, sharing some important information and about it sa klaseng motorsiklo. So, makakapagintay natin sa kanya ng diya o para sa klaseng motorcycle review nito from Honda Motorcycle, which is Honda TMX Supremo. Let's go! Alright, and before we get started again to talk about and review this kind of motorcycle from Honda Motorcycle, which is Honda TMX Supremo 150, ay nagpapasalamat po kami ako sa ating mga warm subscribers, followers, viewers na content ng channel nito. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Then, kung bago ka lang, dapat na sa mga content or videos, like, baka makinintay mo dyan marami dyan sa device na ginagamit mo ngayon, subscribe button, notification bell para update mo palagi sa ating mga latest content, posts, and videos na usually sinashare namin yung content natin ito kay YouTube, Facebook, or other social media pages. So, pinagbago na ako sa post na pasalamat sa inyo dahil sa pagpili nyo sa channel of content na ito para magaling sa inyo ng mga ibang content, videos, at ito nga, content natin ito about sa channel na ito. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Ang Honda TMX Supremo ay isang klaseng backbone motorcycle, aka Pantra motorcycle, which commonly built for tricycles which used as public transportation, business, and cargos. Meron itong overall dimensions at nakapulong nga sa dimension ng motorsiklong ito ang haba nitong 2038mm, lapad na 766mm, taas na 1065mm. Ang seat height naman ito ay nasa 782mm, ground clearance niya naman ay nasa 163mm at may timbang na 127 kilograms. So kung iambin ko nga ang body index ko sa motorsiklong ito, kung saan meron nga akong height na 5'5" at timbang na 60 kilograms, then to our first ride impression to this kind of Pantra motorcycle while in its static position, ay yakang-yakan naman natin na makapagmotorsiklo ng ganitong klaseng motorsiklo, lalo na kung merong nakalagay na sidecar for tricycle na built na perfect for public then personal transportation, business, and cargos. Pagdating naman sa makina ni Honda TMX Supremo ay nandyan na nga napakatibay malakas at napakatapid na makina ng motorsiklong ito. Kung saan nga nakapaloob sa makina ng motorsiklong ito ang single cylinder nito, 4 strokes, 2 valves, naka-single overhead cam, may 149cc na engine displacement. Ang bore size at stroke naman nito ay nasa 57.3mm by 57.8mm. Compression ratio niya naman ay nasa 9.1:1. Ang maximum power output niya naman ay nasa 8.3 kW at 7,500 RPM. Maximum torque 11.6 Nm at 5,000 RPM. Naka-air-cooled engine cooling system, which is normally seen on every kind of Pantra motorcycle because of its convenient and easily to maintain. The Honda TMX Supremo features a transmission system engineered specifically for heavy-duty hauling, provincial terrain, and commercial tricycle operations. While many modern commuter motorcycle uses a standard 5-speed setup, the Supremo's gearbox has a unique configuration designed for maximum utility. Unlike standard manual motorcycles that use the traditional 1 neutral 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern where you click down for first and lift up for the rest, the TMX Supremo utilizes a rotary style all gear down pattern. You step forward down on the toe shifter to upshift through all 5 gears. To prevent dangerous accidental shifts while moving, the transmission has a lockout mechanism. It will only cycle back from the 5th gear directly to neutral when the motorcycle is completely stopped. The Supremo's 5-speed gearbox is paired with its 150cc overhead camshaft engine. The internal gear ratios are intentionally short in the lower gears. First and second gears extremely short and punchy. They are designed to provide massive low-end torque to get a heavily loaded tricycle moving from a dead stop or climbing steep incline roads. The 5th gear acts as an overdrive. When traveling on open highways without a sidecar or cruising at a steady pace, the 5th gear lowers the engine RPM, significantly improving fuel economy and reducing engine vibration. Because Pantra bikes spend their lives slipping the clutch to manage heavy loads, the Supremo is equipped with a robust, wet multi-plate clutch system, but in engine oil. It is designed to withstand high heat and constant friction without burning out prematurely. The clutch lever pull is intentionally tuned to be relatively light, reducing rider fatigue during long hours of stop and go traffic. Then its final drive is chain driven. The fuel system of the Honda TMX Supremo is explicitly designed around the core principles of a true Pantra bike: simplicity, easy maintenance, and reliability under heavy loads. Unlike modern scooters that rely on electronic fuel injection, the TMX Supremo proudly sticks to a classical mechanical setup. The heart of the Supremo's fuel system is a traditional mechanical carburetor. In the commercial tricycle world, downtime equals lost income. An FI system requires fuel pumps, sensors, and an ECU, parts that are expensive and impossible to fix on the side of the provincial road. If a carburetor gets clogged by dirty fuel, any local mechanics can pull it apart, clean the jets, and have the bike running again in 15 minutes. It features a manual handlebar or carb-mounted shock lever. This restricts airflow to enrich the fuel-to-air ratio, make it easier to start the 150cc engine on cold mornings. The TMX Supremo features a large, retro-style steel fuel tank. The fuel tank capacity is 10.3 liters with fuel consumption of 44.6 km per liter, giving its efficient engine A full tank easily provides a cruising range of well over 400 kilometers before needing a trip to the gas station. The suspension system of the Honda TMX Supremo is built like a tank because it is designed to endure the rough, unpaved roads of provincial barangays and carry heavy commercial loads. Honda skipped classy suspension tech in favor of heavy-duty, utilitarian components. The front end of the Supremo relies on traditional telescopic fork setup. Paired with large 18-inch war-spoke wheels, the front forks give the Supremo an aggressive, high ground clearance stance. This helps the bike clear deep potholes, speed bumps, and flooded roads without scraping the crankcase. The inner fork springs and all damping are tuned steeper than a standard commuter scooter. This stiffness prevents the front end from excessively diving or bottoming out when a heavy, unaligned passenger on the sidecar forces weight on the motorcycle body. At the back, the Supremo features a dual or twin shock absorber setup mounted to a rigid steel swing arm. Dual shocks are mandatory for Pantra bikes because they distribute heavy weight evenly across both sides of the rear axle, preventing the frame from twisting under load. The stock shocks feature thick, progressive rate codes. They remain relatively compliant when riding solo, but stepping up significantly as more weight is added to the back or the sidecar. The braking system of the Honda TMX Supremo is built around two things: simplicity and raw stopping power under load. While high-performance street bikes rely on hydraulic disc brakes and ABS, a true Pantra bike like the Supremo sticks to a classical mechanical setup. This is because high-tech hydraulic systems can be fragile and expensive to fix when subjected to the dust, mud, and heavy abuses of commercial tricycle operations. The TMX Supremo uses a mechanical drum brakes on both the front and rear wheels. The Supremo features large diameter drum hubs compared to a smaller underbone motorcycle. This larger surface area creates more friction and dissipates heat better, reducing the risk of brake fade. The front brakes is a leading trailing drum brake operated via a traditional cable connected to the right handlebar lever. It uses a solid metal linkage rod instead of a mechanical cable. When the driver steps on the rear brake pedal, 100% of that leg force is mechanically transferred directly to the rear brake cam without any cable stretch. The rear brakes is a leading trailing drum brake operated via a solid mechanical rod connected to the right foot pedal. Drum brakes are completely enclosed within the wheel hub. This protects the brake shoes from the mud, gravel, and flood water common on provincial roads, which would quickly wear down and contaminate exposed disc brake pads. Just like its engine and frame, the wheel and char setup of the Honda TMX Supremo is engineered for maximum utility, durability, and load-bearing capacity. While smaller commuter bikes often use 14-inch or 17-inch alloy wheels, the Supremo stands out by using a larger, heavy-duty setup. Unlike the smaller Honda TMX 125 Alpha, which uses 17-inch wheel, the TMX Supremo comes up with factory equipped with 18-inch wheels, providing excellent ground clearance up to 156mm to 163mm to navigate deep potholes and flooded roads. Honda intentionally bypassed modern cast alloy mags in favor of traditional war-spoke steel wheels. When a motorcycle hits a brutal provincial pothole carrying hundreds of kilograms of cargo, alloy wheels are rigid and prone to cracking or snapping. War spokes, on the other hand, act like an extension of the suspension. They flex under heavy impacts. distributing the force across the hub and preventing wheel failure. The Supremo sticks to a standard tube type of tires. While tubeless tires are popular for city riding, tube-top tires are prepared in rural and commercial applications. If a driver runs over a large nail on a remote road, they don't need a specialized tubeless repair kit. Any roadside vulcanizing shop can patch or replace an inner tube in minutes using basic tools. The front tire size is 18, 80/100, 47p. Then the rear tire size is 18, 90/90, 51p. The seat of the Honda TMX Supremo is specifically designed to balance the physical demands of long-distance commercial driving with the modern aesthetic expected by today's riders. When Honda launched the Supremo as the modern successor to the legendary TMX 155, the seat received a major engineering upgrade. The Supremo features a dual flat seat design. Unlike sporty underbones or scooters that have aggressive step tiers dividing the rider and the pillion, the Supremo seat is relatively level. This flat profile is vital for a Pantra bike because it allows the riders to slide backward or forward freely to adjust their center of gravity when balancing a heavy sidecar. It offers a generous surface area that comfortably accommodates both a rider and a passenger, or allows the rider to strap cargo, deliver boxes, or tools directly to the rear portion of the cushion. Because tricycle drivers often spend 8 to 12 hours a day in the saddle, the cushion configuration is highly optimized. It uses high-density foam that is significantly thicker and wider than its smaller sibling, the TMX 125 Alpha. This extra padding absorbs a lot of the harsh road vibrations that make it pass the rear twin-shock suspension. The stock seat cover is made of a heavy-duty, weather-resistant textured vinyl. It is designed to withstand intense Philippine sun exposure and heavy monsoon downpours without cracking easily or absorbing water into the foam beneath. The handlebar system of the Honda TMX Supremo is engineered purely for a long-haul comfort, high physical leverage, and extreme durability. Because a Pantra utility bike driver might spend up to 12 hours a day steering a heavy, unaligned passenger sidecar, the handlebar economics are vastly different from standard underbones or aggressive street sports bikes. The Supremo features a traditional, one-piece steel tubular handlebar mounted via rubber cushion risers to the upper triple clamp. The handlebar features a generous rise and a gentle sweep toward the rider. This eliminates the need for the driver to lean forward, keeping their spine straight and drastically reducing lower back and shoulder fatigue during grueling delivery shifts or passenger runs. At roughly 766mm wide, the handlebar gives the rider maximum leverage. Pushing and pulling against the natural resistance of a heavy, 6-passenger sidecar requires massive upper body leverage. A wide handlebar makes managing that P6 puzzle significantly easier. The switchgear layout on the Supremo is intuitive and rugged, blending old-school mechanical utilities with modern electrical safety features. On the right handlebar is the location of the clutch lever, the passing light switch, horn, turn signal toggle, and high to low beam switches, while on the right handlebar is the location of its throttle assembly and front brake lever and the electric starter button. The display panel or instrument cluster of the Honda TMX Supremo reflect its status as the premium evolution of the classic Pantra motorcycle. While other workhorses like the TMX 155 or 125 feature bare minimum single pad readouts, the Supremo stepped up with a much more informative, symmetric, twin-pad analog console designed for professional drivers who need precise data at a glance. The dashboard features an elegant, classic asymmetrical looking balance housed in a rugged plastic casing mounted directly above the headlight. On the left pad is the location of its tachometer. On the right pad is the location of the speedometer, and on its odometer at center stack is the location of its fuel gauge. Arranged horizontally beneath the analog gauges are the standard electronic warning and standard bulbs, neutral light, gear position indicators, turn signal indicators, and high beam indicator. Because transport drivers work heavily through the night and early morning hours before sunrise, the cluster is designed with deep, high contrast white lettering against a dark background. When the ignition or headlights are turned on, a white, amber, or soft white black light illuminates the needles and numbers, providing glare-free visibility at any angle in pitch black conditions. The lighting system of the Honda TMX Supremo is built to navigate poorly lit provincial highways, dark barangay alleys, and unpredictable monsoon downpours. Unlike older generation of Pantra motorcycles that run their lighting directly off the engine's magneto, causing the light to dim every time you idle, the Supremo features a modernized electrical backlight. The biggest mechanical advantage of the Supremo's lighting is that it runs on a direct current system, drawing power straight from its 12-volt, 6-ampere maintenance-free battery rather than the engine's RPMs. Whether you're stuck idling at a red light or revving down an open highway, the headlight remains at a constant maximum brightness. This is a massive safety upgrade over the old TMX 155, which would go nearly dark at low idles. From the factory, the Supremo utilizes a classic, rugged configuration of reliable filament and halogen bulbs designed to withstand constant road vibrations. The Supremo features a large, distinct multi-reflector headlight assembly using a standard halogen bulb. Halogen is intentionally chosen because its warm, yellow-tinted beam cuts through heavy rain and thick fog much more effectively than modern cool white LED beams. A large, highly visible rear tail lamp housing that provides a strong warning to vehicles behind, especially when hauling wide, bulky sidecar payload. 4 flexible, stock mounted amber signal lights, 2 for front and 2 in rear. The flexible rubber stalks are a crucial Pantra design choice if a passenger or a sidecar frame accidentally bumps into the indicator. The stock bends instead of snapping off. Located on the left handlebar switchgear, this allows drivers to quickly flash their high beams to alert oncoming traffic during overtake maneuvers on single-lane roads. The exhaust system of the Honda TMX Supremo is built to complement its 150cc engine by balancing back pressure, pull-low, and hauling power, maintaining strict environmental compliance, and offering extreme durability under brutal weather conditions. Unlike the high-pitch, rasping exhaust notes of older two-stroke 4-horses, the Supremo features the deeper, distinct 4-stroke rhythm. From the factory, the Supremo comes with a long full-length, up-sweep silencer designed to keep the exhaust patch clear of water during minor floods. The header pipe, a durable steel pipe that exits the front of the single-cylinder overhead cam engine and sweeps tightly under the crankcase. To protect the driver's leg and passing passenger from severe burns, the muffler body is wrapped in a prominent stylish chrome or polished stainless steel heat guard. The underlying exhaust pipe is treated with a heavy-duty, high-temperature matte black paint formulation to protect the raw metal from road salt, mud, and rain. The internal baffles of the stock Supremo muffler is specifically engineered to provide optimum back pressure. In the Pantra world, top-end horsepower doesn't matter. What matters is the bike's ability to pull a massive amount of weight from a dead stop. The restrictive quiet factory buckles preserve the engine's low-end torque curves, allowing the rider to smoothly release the clutch and move a heavily loaded tricycle without stalling. Because the Supremo was launched to succeed older, more pollutive platforms, its exhaust system incorporates emission cleaning technologies to meet government clean air standards. Tucked inside the muffler expanse is a honeycomb catalytic converter that treats toxic exhaust gases before they exit the tailpipe. The exhaust work is standard with a pair valve near the engine head, which injects fresh air into the exhaust port to burn off any unspent fuel vapor before it passes through the muffler. The framing and bodywork of the Honda TMX Supremo are the literal skeleton and armor that make it a legend in the Philippine transport industry. Unlike sleek sports bike or plastic-heavy scooters, the Supremo's architecture is exposed, utilitarian, and designed to survive a structural stress that would snap other motorcycle in half. At the core of the Supremo is a diamond-type steel frame, often referred to locally as a backbone frame. Unlike underbone motorcycle like the Honda Wave, which uses a step-through frame, the Supremo's diamond frame uses the engine as a stress member, bound together by steel tubes running beneath the fuel tank. This creates immense torsional rigidity. When a heavy steel sidecar is welded or bolted to the frame, the chassis resists twisting, ensuring the tricycle tracks straight even on uneven provincial roads. Custom motorcycle builders love this specific frame because the top backbone tube is completely flat. This makes it incredibly easy to mount vintage teardrop fuel tanks and straight leather seats without needing to cut or re-weld the main structural chassis. When it comes to body panels, the TMX Supremo embraces a less is more philosophy. It is intentionally avoids the massive, interlocking plastic fairings found on modern scooters. The only significant plastic fairings on the bike are the two triangular side covers beneath the seat, which protect the battery, air filter, and electrical wiring. These are made from high-impact ABS plastics that can take a beating from passenger footwear without cracking. The front and rear fenders are large, wide, and heavily braced to prevent them from rattling loose. Because they are designed to catch flying gravel and thick mud, they are spaced far away from the tires to prevent mud buildup from locking up the wheels. While the older TMX 155 was completely square, blocky machine, Honda gave the Supremo a modern facelift to appeal to a newer generation of riders. The rear section of the bike features a sleek, plastic tail cowl that cleanly wraps around the rear brake light, giving a sporty, unified look when ridden solo. Alright everyone and everybody, kayo nga ba ay muling namangha at na-amaze about sa istorya ng motorsiklong ito, which is the Honda Pantra Old Model Series at ang latest Honda TMX Supremo na talaga man isa sa mga motorsiklo na hindi lang pang transportation kundi pwede rin ding gawing pang negosyo at higit sa lahat it built for tricycle use for our Filipino riders and tricycle drivers. Then kung nakukulangan ka pa sa content na vlog na ito, well anyway, don't worry about that because we'll continue our content to still feature another great motorcycle like this. Then if you have any comments, suggestions, and recommendations, just leave it to the comment section below or email us personally. Then if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and win cards also to everyone and to everybody to share this video to your friends,
family, and to everybody. We'll see you again to our next content and video. Sayonara!
Alright everyone and everybody. So dito naman nagtatapos ang video natin ito at content natin naman sa pagtalakay ng interesting facts and information at istorya dito sa ganitong klaseng motorsiklo, which is Honda Pantra Motorcycles at ang ito nga nakikita sa tabihan ko motorsiklo ito, which is Honda TMX Supremo 150. Makita kayo tayo sa sunod natin video at vlog sa channel na ito. At muli, ito si Mykmoto TV or Mykmoto Vlog. See you again guys!